just shoot from the hip. What do you want to do with Kristaps Porzingis this summer? You want
They don't like to see you winning. They want to see you in a penitentiary. I need me a little baby who gon' listen. Girl, I don't wanna be the one you ignorant. My mama told me, boy, make a decision.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Clutch Talk podcast /YouTube/ We Do It All. As always, I am your host, John. Very happy to be here. My boy over there in the six, what it is. What's up, Jay Hill?
What's good, Jay? Just chilling, ready to get into this Mavs thought.
Man, ready to get into this Mavs pod. Junior, what's up?
Hey, Jay said it. Jay Hill said it, man. Let's talk about the Mavericks here. I'm excited to hear what Chaba thinks about not only the Mavs, but Luka Magic over there in Dallas. So ready to get into it.
Man, let's get straight into it, man. So we have a very, very, very special guest here on this on this episode with us. One of the OGs, man. He's been rocking with us for a long time here on Clutch Talk. Was one of our first collab podcasts. We got Shaba from the Big Shot Pod. Shaba, man, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let the people know a little bit about yourself and your podcast, as this is your second time as a guest here on Clutch Talk.
Yeah, well, thanks, guys. Thanks again for having me. I always love, collaborating with you guys. I've always had a lot of fun. So, yeah, I have a podcast called The Big Shot Pod. I mean, I started it probably less than 2 months ago. I'm on all platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I just talk about all NBA. I don't talk about just the Mavericks. So, yeah, if you guys want, please go ahead and, look me up and listen to me, and I'd really appreciate it.
Man, yeah, everybody make sure you guys go check out the Big Shot Pod. But as long as everybody has gone and checked you guys out, and as long as they've liked, comment, subscribe, that means we could get straight into this Dallas Mavericks talk. You ready to get into this, Shaba?
Sure am.
Let's do this, man. So the Dallas Mavericks, man, they had, I guess you could call a mediocre year, man. They 42 wins, 30 losses. They ended in fifth place. They had a home and away record of 21 and 15. So Shaba, man, let me ask you, as a Mavs fan, you saw the way the year went. From your expectations that you had in the beginning of the year and the way that it actually ended up going down, are you content as a Mavs fan, or how are you feeling now that the season is over?
Yes and no. I'm content with how we played in the playoffs, mostly Luka. But I'm not content with the regular season. Going into the season, everyone thought, Luka was going to be the MVP. People thought that Dallas was going to be the new contender. They thought that we were going to at least be in the top four. And, we just had a rocky start to start the season with a lot of COVID stuff. A lot of players had to sit out. So that really just threw off our rhythm. And it took us a long time to, get into a good flow. We really didn't find our true selves, our identity until, more than halfway through the season. But about 10 games, before the playoffs, we were, going to be a 7th or 8th seed, and we ended 5th. So, on that part, I am happy. And then in the playoffs, I'm happy with how Luka played. I mean, he carried us, all the way to Game 7. But I'm not happy with guys like Kristaps. And I'm just not happy with the shooters and, the role players that Luka has around them. So I think that we have a lot of work to do, but I think that we can get it done this offseason.
Let me ask you something real quick, Chaba. Let me interject here real quick. Maybe we're getting this way too early in the pod, but just shoot from the hip. What do you want to do with Kristaps Porzingis this summer? You want to move him? You want to keep him? Like, you keep going with this Luka KP duo? Like, how you feeling?
That's a tough question because, I've always rooted for KP ever since we got him. He's really gotten a lot of hate here in Dallas, mostly because he just doesn't show up when he needs to.
Right.
But he has been unhealthy basically the whole time. This is his first offseason where he's going to be healthy, where he can train and, get himself into shape and stuff like that. So I would love to see him do well on the Mavs. So, I'd really like to see, I'd like to see him thrive here with us. But at the same time, I'd also like to see what we can get for him. But I don't think that his trade value is necessarily high.
Right.
So I'd rather keep him, and then if he doesn't look good during the season, trade him at the deadline.
But even if you're getting pennies on the dollar, because it's tough. Like he's inconsistent and he's injury prone. But when he has, his on days, he's really good. I mean, he's out there snatching boards, hitting threes. He's a 7'3" player who can shoot. Right, like that's extremely rare. And so it's like the upside is really, really high. It's just, I guess, rare to get it. So would you still be okay with trading him, even if you're getting something that's, maybe consistently mediocre as opposed to these highs and lows?
Yeah, and see, that's why I'm on the fence, because I know when he does play well, he can be incredible. But 80% of the time he doesn't do that. So, but really, also the biggest plus to getting rid of him is that contract. And Luka, he has so many years that he's going to be patient. Eventually, he's just not going to want to be here anymore, and he's going to want to leave if we can't contend. So, every year that we try and, take a chance with KP and, hope for him to be better, that could be, a year that we lose with Luka. So, but yeah, I mean, I do want to believe in him. I do want to think that he's going to do a lot better this season. So, that's my hopes. But again, I have to look at his trade value. I have to see what we could get for him and go from there.
So Shaba, you talk about his trade value and how it has, really diminished throughout the year, especially, since his New York Knicks years. That was when, Kristaps was maybe your star player, maybe your center player on the team back in the day, but now clearly not anymore. And you talk about his trade value. So to you, Shaba, who do you want to see on that Mavs team? If you can't think of a player just like off the top of your head, you could give me like a prototype player. Do you want more of a guard, or do you want more of a big to be paired up with Luka over there in Dallas?
I think a good guard would do well with Luka, because we need mostly scoring, and we can really get that from a guard. A guy that I'm looking at who isn't really a star, but someone that could really help us and bring his consistency is maybe a guy like DeMar DeRozan. He can, he's a great mid-range shooter. He's going to show up. He can be clutch at times. Well, a lot of times. So he'd be a good guy to match Luka up with. Obviously, he's not, a star or this big name that you're looking for. But, he is someone that I'd be interested. Also, Kawhi, the only bad thing about Kawhi is that he's going to have to sit out this coming season because of his ACL. And like I said earlier, you don't want to waste years with Luka. And so if we get Kawhi, we're going to have to waste this coming year, at least for Kawhi. I don't know how far we could get after, we get our finished product of a team after this offseason. But yeah, so basically Kawhi, Kawhi, and then DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry would be a good matchup for us.
Just want to reunite the Raptors and there you
go.
While you're at it.
Yeah, there you go.
Jay here, what are some players do you think would work well with Luka and fit to that Mavs team?
For a while, I thought it would be Giannis, but obviously that's not happening now. But I think
nice.
I think a guy like a guy who comes to mind is for sure either Paul George or Kawhi, and it's so funny that they're on the same team. But I think a two-way. A second option, because I think that's ultimately was Dallas's struggles this year. It was they never had a legitimate second option, and it definitely wasn't KP. As much as when they brought him over from New York, they thought he'd be that guy. But if they could get a second option like Kawhi or Paul George, I think they a 3-and-D kind of player too. I think they'd be a title favorite for sure. But another question I have for you, Shaba, is let's address a huge question mark. So obviously from 2008 to 2021, Rick Carlisle was a coach, a legendary coach in Dallas, brought them, I believe, their first championship in franchise history. So Jason Kidd, do you think he's the right fit? I mean, we saw what happened in Brooklyn. With that squad they had there, it didn't turn out well. And then Milwaukee was just a disaster. I think he was traded there, matter of fact. So do you think things are going to change this time and he has the right recipe, being with the Lakers in their title run and now coming over to the Mavericks, inheriting probably one of the best, like you said, top 6, top 5 players in the league, arguably. Do you think Jason Kidd's the right fit there in Dallas?
Good question.
Well, if you're at all on Mavs Twitter, everyone was absolutely just furious at Mark Cuban for getting Jason Kidd. He wasn't my first choice, but now that I think about it more, I'm kind of excited about it, because he can help develop Luka even more, which is crazy to even think about Luka getting better. And I think, since he was a point guard and one of the best point guards ever, I mean, he's second all time in assists. His mind works differently. He knows how different players can affect the game, their positioning, all that stuff. So, and he said that his number one priority this offseason and, his coaching tenure is to make Kristaps Porzingis love the game again. Because, you watch Kristaps, he's not happy. He's just, lugging around. So, he's just doing it as a job, not as, his dream, So I'm really excited with how he's going to develop those two guys. And also what Dallas really just needed was, a fresh voice. Rick Carlisle, he just ran his time out there in Dallas. No one really listened to him much anymore. He bumped heads a lot with Luka. Now that he's gone, there's reports that, he wasn't necessarily the nicest guy. He kind of disrespected a lot of players. One of those guys was Salah Mejri. I don't know if you guys remember him, a guy from Tunisia who said that he just felt absolutely disrespected, that Rick Carlisle even, almost degraded him in front of a lot of people. So, he's not the most respectful guy. And, like I said, he bumped heads with Luka, and that's one thing you don't want, right? You don't want your star player to feel like he can't get along with his coach. And that's one thing Jason Kidd has, is that he always gets along with players. He has a good reputation with a lot of people around the league. He doesn't have the best history with organizations, but, with players and stuff, he does. I mean, Damian Lillard was a guy that wanted Jason Kidd. He was his number one option. But then Lillard got a lot of scrutiny for his pick there. But yeah, I mean, I think that Jason Kidd is also a guy that can help recruit guys. A big reason why guys wouldn't come to Dallas was Rick Carlisle. I mean, look at Rajon Rondo when he came over to Dallas. I mean, it was just absolutely just horrible. And the main reason was he didn't get along with Rick. So, I think having that fresh voice there in Dallas and, helping him recruit, his development, his relationship with the guys, I think it's really going to help. And I'm actually excited to see how he does. And plus with the Lakers, he learned a lot. He won a championship as a assistant coach. So, I mean, I'm excited, and, I just want to see what he can bring. But I'm optimistic.
Yeah, I definitely think that was something that me and Jay Hill talked about on our live episode that we had when we talked about we think that Jason Kidd is going to be great for the Mavs, especially for Luka, man. That Jason Kidd was a point guard like how Luka is in today's NBA. Back in the day, a big guard, 6'6". Jason Kidd was also 6'6". I believe Luka's even a bit bigger than that. And Jason Kidd and Luka's game is very, very similar. I would say that Luka's a bit of a better scorer, but I think that Jason Kidd. I think Jason Kidd, has that same, setup gene in him that that Luka has. So that was a great question, Jay Hill, because I really am excited to see how that coaching fit is gonna work out there. So Shaba, let me ask you something, man. Let me ask you about another move that the Mavs made here, that the organization made. They're trading away Seth Curry for Josh Richardson. So how did you feel about that trade? I see you rolling your eyes here for the people on YouTube. I know you guys saw that. For my Apple Podcast listeners, you guys make sure you guys go check us out on YouTube. But so yeah, man. So you clearly don't like that trade. So talk to us how you feeling about that.
Hell no. I hated it from the get-go. Seth Curry, he's a favorite here in Dallas. Even now that he's gone, everyone loves him. And, watching him just thrive there in Philadelphia, being the number 2 scorer in Philly, knowing that we gave him up for Josh Richardson, who averaged, I think, like 9 minutes in the playoffs. He was that bad. He couldn't even get on the floor. Richardson just couldn't shoot the ball at all season long. His defense has diminished. He has no ball security. I mean, he can't handle the ball. He loses it. He turns it over. He doesn't have a high IQ. He's definitely not Josh Richardson from the Miami Heat. You could see this, when he was in Philly. He just wasn't good. Like I said, he wasn't shooting well, turning the ball over. His defense went down, which, the reason we traded for him was defense. And, he just wasn't effective at all. I mean, you see guys who, like PJ Tucker, who can't shoot the ball at all, but, he played like 36 minutes in a closeout game in the NBA Finals because of his defense. And Josh Richardson couldn't even do that. So, yeah, no, it was awful. Steph Curry, like I said, was a favorite. He's a great three-point shooter. He's even a higher percentage shooter than Steph Curry. So, yeah, it was just a bad trade all around. Obviously, Steph Curry can't defend. So he is a liability from that standpoint. But still, I'd rather, take my chances with that than keep Josh Richardson. And the sad part is that, he has a player option this offseason. So pretty much everyone here in Dallas is praying that he declines that option and that he wants to go somewhere else, because we do not want him here.
That is
Very
exactly
clear
that is exactly how I thought you were going to feel about this trade. I have here on my notes that all Mavs fans should be very upset with the Mavs organization for making this trade, man. So I'm happy we agree on that one. Junior and Jay Hill, you guys agree with Shaba on that? You guys feeling the same way?
I mean, I was actually saying the summer before Seth went to Dallas, I was trying to, lobby as much as possible for the Lakers to try to sign him as a free agent, because he's a great player coming off the bench, and he's not commanding, $30 million a year or anything like that. I mean, we got Danny Green for a lot more. He did a lot less. So I definitely think that a player like that is valuable to any team, any team. And even the Warriors are a great 3-point shooting team, but bring somebody off the bench who can shoot even more threes. Like, it's hard to say no to that,
Yeah.
And even what he does off the court, his team chemistry, he's a great teammate. Everyone loves him. So, yeah, getting rid of him was just awful.
Definitely, man. So while we're on the lines of, talking about some great locker room players, some great off the court players, let's talk about another player that I think was, his value on the court isn't seen much. It's more of a off the court. But the Mavs traded away James Johnson for JJ Redick. I mean, on court, that makes great sense. How do you feel, as a Mavs fan? I know JJ hasn't been able to really be all that the Mavs want him to be, because he's been hurt and just been dealing with a lot. He didn't even want to be there, when he first got there. So just dealing with all that. How do you feel as a Mavs fan about the JJ Redick trade? Do you think it makes your team much better, or do you think it doesn't really move the bar too much?
I think it's mostly just a lateral move. I think that the front office mostly did that trade just, maybe to quiet the fans, because, we wanted something to be done. Like I said, early in the season, we just were not in a good flow. We weren't consistent at all. So I think that, the fans just wanted to see some sort of move done, but, that obviously didn't get anything done. Although Nicola Melli, he shot the ball pretty well. He had some pretty nice games for us, in about 8 games. So, he, from that standpoint, he was good. But, JJ Redick, like you said, he was injured. He didn't want to be there. So, but I mean, I guess he's a good guy to have on your bench. He's always been known as a great teammate, a nice veteran to have. But obviously you want him to be on the court. And James Johnson, when we traded him away, he became a pretty damn good, scorer for the Pelicans there. He was, I think in one game he scored up to like 20 something points. And it was like right after we traded him. So, that was kind of a slap in the face. But yeah, like I said, it was just mostly a lateral move. So, but Nico Lamelli, he's gone now. I think he signed with Real Madrid or Atletico de Madrid, some team like that over in Europe. So he won't be here anymore. And we don't expect JJ Redick to sign with us again. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, just kind of sent out James Johnson just to kind of send him out here.
Yeah, it's lateral move.
Yeah. Junior J Hill, you guys have anything you guys want to add about those two trades or anything like that?
Not about those two trades, but I do have a theoretical I wanted to run by Chabu, but I don't know if you want to say that for the end because this one's a little spicy.
Go ahead. Let's run that.
Chabu, let me ask you something.
We're used to spicy here in Dallas.
So let me ask you something because I was talking to John about this when the Bucks won the title. Okay, so Luka, Giannis, the best two young players. I don't know how far you want to define young. Luka definitely is. Giannis is 26, so. To me, that's still young. Best two young players, build the team around if you're starting today would be Luka and Giannis. I want you to take those two players and I want you to swap them, okay? Put Luka in Milwaukee and Giannis in Dallas. Does Milwaukee still win the title and does Dallas still lose to the Clippers in the first round in 7? Like, how are you feeling? So let's start with the first part of the question.
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, like you said, Giannis and Luka are probably the most valuable players in the league, trade-wise.
Exactly.
Giannis, the one thing that he brings is obviously his defense. I said in my last episode on the podcast, the guy scored 50 points, and I honestly couldn't decide if he was better on offense or defense.
He's taking that crown for best two-way player in the league for sure.
Oh, yeah. So, you got that standpoint. And then Luka, obviously, he's not a good defender. He's not a horrible defender like people make him sound. He was when he first started. But this last season, he could stay in front of guys when he wanted to. He was competent enough. So he's not, a liability like people say he is still. When people say that, I just know that they don't watch the games. But, yeah, that's a good question. One thing that the Bucks needed for sure to win this championship was their defense. I said that they're the first team, I think, in the league to win because of defense, like actually win because of defense since probably the 2004 Detroit Pistons. And obviously without Giannis, they wouldn't have that. Although they do have Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton's a really great defender. But you can't replace what Giannis does.
Yeah.
Giannis, he can still, obviously he can score and really efficient. He scored shooting over 60% here in the finals. And Luka, he's a great scorer, but sometimes he takes a lot of heat checks, and sometimes it hurts. So I would probably say no. The Bucks probably wouldn't win with Luka. I think they would have gone to 7 games, and I think it would have been close and probably come right down to the wire. But I'm gonna have to give that one to Giannis. That without him, they would not have won.
Okay, so and then if you put Giannis on the Mavericks, are they beating the Clippers?
That's also a great question. I'm gonna say probably. Because of that defense. He can be a guy that can stay in front of Kawhi. Kawhi, he was automatic.
He was great this playoffs. When he was playing, he was great.
Yeah, he was automatic from mid-range. Every time he pulled up, I already knew that, they were going to score. And also Paul George, he was great from mid-range too. Giannis definitely would have helped from that aspect. So, I'm going to also say that probably Giannis would have helped us get to the second round.
Okay, interesting to know. Yeah, but honestly, you can't go wrong with either of them. You have Giannis or Luka on your team, set for the future for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. I'm completely ecstatic with Luka. I'm just balls to the wall. Yeah. I'm so excited for our future.
I do think that when it's all said and done, I have a feeling I think Luka might end up higher in the top all-time list than Giannis. Like Luka, he's promising, man, and he can do it all. You're seeing he's doing things LeBron did when he was a rookie, and obviously there's no need to talk about LeBron that much. He's a generational player. Jay Hill doesn't seem to agree.
Jay Hill, you're not feeling that, Jay Hill, or what?
Thinking Giannis ended up as a better all-time player, or
man.
What?
we got to get past the second round to be in that.
Ooh, that's fair.
Got
Fair.
to get past the second round to make that comparison. That you're talking about a champion, talking about a 2-time MVP.
Yeah, I do got to put some respect on Giannis's name. That's true.
Respect on his name. Yeah, Luka's got a ways to go before he's in that on that.
But
level.
hey, Luka's 22. So I mean, let's see if Luka might be a champion by the time he's 26. We don't know.
When that day happens, we'll say. When that day happens, we'll talk.
That's true. That's fair.
We'll give him that.
That's fair.
No one has more respect for Giannis than me. But in 3 years, 3 years, Luka is going to be the face of the NBA, and he's going to be the best player of the NBA. I'm 100% confident about that.
Wow. Okay.
He's going to be like the next LeBron. He can do everything LeBron did except for defense at that point. So, I think he is going to be the best player in the league in 3 years.
Wow.
Ooh, all
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Big shot pod coming
here.
in here, putting it on wax. I like it. So,
All right, how old is Jokic in 3 years? I'm curious.
I believe.
I don't think he's touching Luka though. I don't think. He's touching
I believe
Luka.
he would be like 20, almost 28 in 3 years, right?
So in 3 years, in 3 years, you have Giannis at 29, Jokic at 29. I think by that time, Steph, LeBron, KD are all out of the picture.
Don't forget about
Davis.
Don't forget about that big motherfucker Joel Embiid. Don't forget about Joel Embiid. Don't forget about Joel.
Joel will be there, but he'll be. I think he'll be over 30 at that point. AD will be over 30. I mean, yeah, it's definitely possible. Lucas is the nicest guy, but hey, who knows? What if LaMelo Ball takes over here? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. It's Luka all day on that one.
Definitely, man. Definitely Luka all day. So, Shaba, man, but before we get into these realistic trade rumors, every fan has, those dreams that aren't real, right? Like, as a Lakers fan, I mean, people think that Dame's going to come to the Lakers. I don't think Dame's going to come to the Lakers, but I'm dreaming, tough. Man. I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming as a Lakers fan.
Shaba. You guys think everyone's going to the Lakers?
All the Lakers fans we got a dream. We got to hold on to a dream. So Shaba, let me ask you this question. As a Mavs fan, who is it? Even if it's an unrealistic player, who is your dream pair to put with Luka on the team? Don't worry about money. Don't worry about trades. Don't worry about getting back players. No, just you put him on a team. I want to know who it is.
Oh, it's Giannis. Giannis, and it is bittersweet because he was supposed to come to Dallas or go to Miami. Those were the two teams if he didn't re-sign with Milwaukee. So yeah, it's Giannis. But after that, my realistic option is Damian Lillard. He would be awesome to have. He would really help, obviously scoring wise. He would help. Handling the ball. It would give Luka chances to rest, not have to use all of his energy, every single second of the game. So yeah, it would be him, and it would be Jokic.
Okay.
I'd love to have him and Jokic together. They're always, every time they're in the same building, you always see them together, chatting, laughing. So maybe there is something there one day. I don't know. I hope so.
I'm gonna throw a quick bone here. Oh, go ahead, John.
No. I was gonna say those choices are some great choices. Only one I would add, man, is not because I'm a Lakers fan, is that guy AD. I think AD and Luka would be so cold. I've been stated on the record saying this so many times, but I think that they would be a deadly combo.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Although
I'm not the biggest AD fan, but yeah, I do think and the only reason is because he's not healthy 100% of the time. But if he was, yeah, they would be killing it. I think that they would instantly be a contender, no doubt.
Okay, definitely. So to get into some more realistic players here, and Jenner and Jay Hill, and even you, Shaba, if you guys have any players that you want to talk about, realistic that you see from the Mavs, feel free to just go ahead and blast them out. But I'll go ahead and talk about some realistic players that I could really see the Mavs being able to acquire. Would be Rashard Holmes. I think that would be great. A great pickup from the Kings. That's a great pick and roll partner and a flying lob threat for Luka. Luka. You mentioned this earlier, Shaba. I think it's a great pick. Kyle Lowry, man. Kyle Lowry, he could come into the game when Luka's out and be able to stop the bleeding so bad. You know, you talked about it earlier. Oftentimes the Mavs have lost games throughout the season simply because Luka, you know, had to just take a 5-minute rest, and then the Mavs go down big, man. So I think that, you know, a veteran guard who can control the court, control the tempo of the game, and score when Luka isn't on the court. Jay Hill, you got any like realistic players that you want to see the Mavs trying to acquire this offseason?
A realistic player I think they could acquire, well, realistically, unrealistic would be Cat. I think that I don't know the direction that the T-Wolves really want to go in. I think maybe they want to see a healthy team with, you know, D'Lo and Malik Beasley. But I think if whatever way they could get it done, if it's giving up future draft picks, but to see Cat and Luka together, I think would be unstoppable kind of tandem. So that's a sleeper pickup I have.
For sure.
Jenner, you got any realistics?
So, you know who I want to say, but there's probably a better option, and I'm thinking John Collins would be a nice option to run over there in Dallas, and I think that'd be realistic. I think they could get it done. Probably even I don't know if he's restricted or unrestricted, but that's probably a way that you can involve Kristaps Porzingis and get a decent amount of return back, because John Collins is a great player if he is restricted, or if they do a sign and trade. Another player I think would be good too, and that's because Chapa was talking about picking up a guard. I don't know if picking up a guard is the best thing to do, but if they do pick a guard up, I think Lonzo would be a good guard as well, because he's a pass-first guard and he's a good defender, right? So leave your scoring to the Hardaways, to the Lukas. Let them handle the scoring, and let Lonzo handle the defense. Let Lonzo handle, you know, the distribution. We saw it work this year. Obviously, Drew Holiday's a much better defender than Lonzo Ball is, and he's a much better player than Lonzo Ball. I'm not saying they're the same. But I'm saying, I talked about this on a couple pods ago, that Lonzo is like a Drew Holiday light, right? Like he's like a Wish.com version of Drew Holiday. He's got the same attributes, just to a lesser degree. So I'm thinking if you have a player like that, it's maybe gonna help cover up some of Luka's defensive liabilities, which aren't many, but there are some there, and would still allow him to have Luka's still facilitating. Luka's still kind of, you know, being the primary, you know, the center of. I mean, he's always going to be the center of attention, but kind of, you know, that centerpiece on that team.
Definitely. Shaba, man, you got any? I know you guys in Dallas, you know, love talking about the Mavs. So you got any real realistics that you're holding? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, Shaba, I don't know if Dame really coming. I don't know if Dame going over there.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys named pretty much most of them. I would love to have John Collins. Obviously, I mentioned Kyle Lowry earlier, DeMar DeRozan. You know, you also got Kawhi. I love the Richaun Holmes pick that you had. I mean, that would be fantastic. If you go to Mavs Twitter, everyone loves Holmes. You know, we'd all love to have him. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much mostly. I love Cat. that would be amazing. So that's pretty much it for the most part. I would also, I think that's pretty much it realistic wise. I think I would love that. I'd love to somehow maybe see if we can get Seth Curry back, but Philly isn't going to get rid of him. So yeah, that's pretty much it realistically. I think you guys nailed it all on the head. So, you know, I don't really think I have anything extra. Oh, another one would probably be, I've heard rumors of Colin Sexton, maybe a deal with him and Kevin Love over. I'm not crazy about Kevin Love at all, especially because of his price. He's injury prone. So I don't know, but if he has to be part of the package to get Sexton, that would be good. Although I don't know how Sexton and Luka would really, you know, match up. Sexton is a really ball dominant player, so, but he's got confidence, he can shoot, all that. But like I said, he's, you know, and yeah, Bradley Beal would also be I mean, Bradley Beal, it almost seems super unrealistic at this point. I don't know what the hell Bradley Beal likes about Washington so much, but it's like he does not want to leave there at all. So, that's why I never even mentioned Beal, ever, because, like I said, he never wants to leave. But yeah, I think Kawhi, Lowry, DeMar, all those guys would be my number one choices.
Okay, most
I think
definitely.
Lowry would fit great. Like I didn't say Lowry when we got to Mike because you had already said it, but I think Lowry would fit great.
Most definitely.
Yeah, that defense is something that we really need to improve.
Yeah, exactly, man.
That a lot. Yeah.
That would help the defense, and that would help the scoring, and for there to be a veteran guard when Luka is not on the court, man. Definitely, man. All right, so Shaba, man,
and real quick, another guy maybe would be Pascal Siakam. I wouldn't mind having him. He's obviously trended downwards a little bit lately, but he can score, he can defend, he's big, he's long, he can get rebounds. So I think he'd also be a good pairing over there with that.
I hear a lot of Pascal Siakam rumors also with to the Warriors here. I know we have Jay Hill here.
Yeah.
But I think they'll probably sign Pascal Siakam after they sign Dame and Bradley Beal, right? With all the cap that they have.
Yeah.
We got to get Spicy P over there to Dallas, baby. All right, Chaba. So as we wrap up here, this amazing Dallas Maverick interview, is there any last words? I guess here, let's do this, Chaba. Give me a couple of a word or two or a sentence or a phrase that represents this past season that you witnessed from the Mavs or you witnessed from Luka, whatever you want to talk about, and then give me another sentence or a phrase or word that you're holding on to as you're looking forward to this 2021-2022 season as we wrap up here.
Last season I'd say was hopeful, and that pretty much sums up how we felt, Mavs fans felt all season long. And now rolling into next season, I'm going to say realistic. I think we can get it done. We just have a lot of things that we need to get done. We need to figure out Josh Richardson and THJ. If we can find a way to get rid of those guys, that clears up 41 million cap space right there. And we can go out and get, a couple guys. And that doesn't even, that's not even considering what we do with Porzingis. So, we can really build a lot with this team. I would just say realistic. And, I think now with our new front office, with Nico Harrison, who's our new president of basketball operations, he can bring a whole lot of guys because he worked with Nike. So he has a whole lot of relationships with a bunch of guys in the league. With our new head coach who, has good relationships with a lot of guys in the league as well. So I think our recruiting has gone from, an 18% to sky high to 99% of if you had the sliders, on NBA 2K, I think that we would be up there. I would say that, we can get it done. It's just up to the front office now what they do. But yeah, I would say realistic now.
Okay, I like that. So your two words are hopeful and realistic.
Yep.
Okay, I like that. I like that very much, man. So, Shaba, man, we really enjoyed having you on, man. We really enjoyed talking about the Dallas Mavericks, man. How their season went. We talked about coaching, the coaching position that recently changed. We talked about some of the offseason moves that they should potentially make, man. And this was just overall a great conversation, man. So, Chaba, before we close out here, I want to thank you very, very much, for making some time and hopping on here with us to talk about a little bit about the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, man, it was my pleasure. You guys are always fun to talk to. I'd love to do a lot more of these in the future, not just about the Mavs, but about just the whole NBA. I'd love to have you guys on here during free agency time so that we can talk about, things that are going on and, what we can expect or what we're hopeful for. I'd love to have you guys on as well.
Definitely. We appreciate that. So, Jay Hill Jr., you guys got any last words you guys want to say to all the fans, Shaba, and the Dallas community over there?
No, man, just appreciate you coming on. I'd love to, kind of get your insight, especially on that whole Kristaps situation, because that's something that, we can have our own opinions as outsiders, but you guys are the ones who have KP. You know, you're the one who really have strong feelings. Like, no, definitely want to keep him. Definitely want to get rid of him. I kind of want to see how it pans out. So it was cool to kind of get that perspective on here. So just appreciate you making the time to come on. It was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to next time.
Jay Hill, you got any last?
Yeah, Shaba. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. Always enjoy having you on, and I'm excited to see what the Jason Kidd and the Mavs do next year. I think Luka, the trajectory is only up from here, and yeah, man, this was fun. Thanks for coming on.
Man, thank you very, very much, Shaba. We had a great time.
Yeah, thank you guys. And Junior, when it comes to talking about Kristaps, any Mavs fan would love to just talk about Kristaps so that they can vent, so they can vent all their frustrations. Because man, he's a hard one to deal with sometimes. But yeah, thank you guys. It was a lot of fun.
Of course.
Definitely, man, definitely. So, guys, here we are. We have now reached the end of the episode, which means that this is one of our favorite segments here at Clutch Talk, which is called Drum Roll Please, the Guess the Player segment, baby. So let's do this. Shaba, we are really happy to have you on this Guess the Player segment here with us today. Basically, the way this works, Shaba, is I have 3 players here. I have a couple of accolades. I got teams they were drafted to. Basically, I'm just going to be describing a player and without saying their name, and you have 2 guesses. You have 2 guesses to guess this player. You can blurt out the guesses if you want right away, but if you use away your 2 guesses, you can't guess anymore. You got it?
Yep. Let's do it.
All right, let's do this. Let's do it, guys. First player that we got here on the list. He was drafted in 1996. He was the first round. He was in the first round. He was the 4th pick. He's a 2-time All-Star. 01 with the Nets and 03 with the Suns. He's a 3-time CBA champion.
Stephon Marbury.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I was thinking, was Ray Allen, was he drafted in 96?
Ray Allen was 96, yeah.
Okay, so I was like, dude, it sounds like Ray Allen. And I was like,
he had more All-Stars, though.
Yeah. No, but we've already done Ray Allen, so that's why I was like, it can't be. But when he said CBA, I was like, oh, I know. I was like, it's either going to be Marbury. And at first I thought it was Iverson when he said 96. But then he said 4. So I'm like, all right, it's going to be Marbury or and then I knew it was going to be Kobe either. And I was like, almost there. But all right, give me the next one.
All right, let's do it. This next player, he was drafted in 1994. First round, 3rd pick. He's a 7-time All-Star, 5-time NBA first team. He got inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2018.
Chris Webber?
No. Y'all ready for this next one? This next one is going to give a lot away, so y'all better be ready. Injuries killed this man.
Grant Hill.
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
Yes, sir. Okay, Chaba. I see you, boy.
Tough. I didn't know that.
See you, Chaba.
He was ready. That's my guy Jay Hill's namesake right there too.
Yeah.
All right, guys. All right, let's get this last player here. All right, y'all ready? Let's do this. Let's do this. This last player. He's a 11-time first All NBA first team. He's a 2-time Finals MVP. He's a 4-time All-Star MVP.
Tim Duncan.
No. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right. He has 1 Most Valuable Player award.
Steve Nash.
No.
Go over the tips
2.
again.
I'm not. I still got a couple.
Okay.
He's an 18-time All-Star. He's been to the All-Star game 18 times.
The Kobe?
Yes, sir.
Dirk Nowitzki.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, I thought as soon as
That's a good one.
I was gonna say Kobe like 2 guesses ago, and I was like, nah, hold on.
I didn't say how many finals he won.
What's up?
Go over the
You didn't
tips.
say how many finals you won.
Yeah, I was gonna get there. Because
Oh,
it's because
Junior.
if I came out all of a sudden and I just said 5-time champion on all that, y'all would know. So I had
Go
to
over
go
the
with
tips
Yeah.
again.
I have to say right now, I'm shocked. Junior didn't know that.
I am
I'm
too.
shocked.
I am too.
I
I
am
am too.
shocked.
the
I am
the
shocked.
the tips were 11-time first for NBA all first team,
Okay, I wouldn't
Two-
have thought about him there.
2-time Finals MVP, 4-time All Star, and then I said
4-time All-Star.
Yes, he's. I mean 4-time All Star MVP.
Oh,
Four-time.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah, he
4-time.
said that. He said that.
18-time All-Star.
Yeah, I said
18-time.
18-time
Okay.
All Star, four times.
That's
All-Star
a great
MVP.
pick, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then I knew it if I said the next one was gonna be a 5-time champion.
Yeah,
and,
no.
But hey,
Yeah.
Junior, I'm not gonna lie. I really thought you would have got it when I said he's only got one MVP. I thought because everybody
That's
knows Kobe should have more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I was like, oh, let me say Kobe, but I was like, no, hold on, no one guessed, so I
Yeah.
still got a chance to. So
Yeah, that's a good guess. That's a good guess. Nah, that's good. That's good.
Okay, well, hey, Shabo, you came on the pod and just wiped out the floor, man. Definitely, man. Definitely. That was very fun. So, guys, as always, man, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe wherever you guys are. You guys on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Make sure, come give us a follow. And if you guys got the Spotify Green Room, make sure you guys go on the Spotify Green Room app, man. Give us a follow. Give us a follow on there, man. We're on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, man. It's at Clutch Talk 1. So we'd appreciate you guys, follow us. Come debate with us, man. Come talk to us. We drop NBA updates on there, episode updates. Just debate about the NBA as well. And don't forget to go follow my guy Shab over there at the Big Shot Pod, man. Y'all go make sure to go check him out, man. He's on all platforms, so make sure you guys go check him out and show him some love. Shabo, you want to go ahead and plug your Twitter and any social medias you got?
Yeah. So, like you said, just please go ahead and look me up on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff. It's called The Big Shot Pod with Shaba Baja. But if you just look up The Big Shot Pod, I'm there. I'm on Twitter too. If anyone follows me on Twitter, you know that I like to tweet some spicy stuff. So, just hit me up. I'm at The Big Shot Pod. Also, if you have any questions or topics or anything that you want me to talk about on the podcast, just hit me up, send me a message or something, and I'll gladly address it on the podcast. But yeah, just please go ahead and listen to my podcast, The Big Shot Pod. And again, I'd love to have you guys on the podcast, and thank you so much for having me. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun beating you guys in that last segment.
He earned his bragging rights.
You earned it, man. You earned it.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, like always, I had a lot of fun, guys, and I hope that I can have all of you on for a free agency podcast that I want to have. So, but thank you again, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. And a quick shout out to Matt in the green room too. He just follows. So appreciate that, Matt. And just appreciate you listening in here. And we'll be doing more of these too. So you'll be able to catch more of these live and as well as on on all the feeds for Clutch Talk and for the Big Shot Pod as well.
Definitely, man. Jay Hill, you got any last words for the fans?
Nah, man, this was a great pod. Thanks for everything.
It's all good, man. So that's it. We out of here. Clutch Talk out.
Peace.